hello. What's this? I'm not happy with this. No, that's not right. That's not what I want. That's not the image. This is out of order. Send a letter. Committee, are we happy with this? No, the no's have it. Turn back round, Mr. Bajerski. We're not happy. We like it the other way. Okay. Get it right for you, just so you're all happy. There you go. Let's get the lovely ladies in. How's that? That better? Yes, much better. Poof, nearly gave me a bloody heart attack, Mr. Bajerski. What do you think you're doing? I don't like change. Why not? Because I'm like a rabbit. I like going down the same route every day. Feel safe, feel good. You need a change, guys. A change of view, scenery. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Yeah, the sun is kind of very bright, so I've got to get to a position where the sun isn't too sunny on my eyes, or else I'm going to look like this all the time. Good morning. Okay. Don't let me forget them, because I need to talk about them. Anything else? No. Well, good morning, everybody. How are you all doing? It is a morning as well. It's 11 o'clock here. I've been out for my meditation. Did a video on Instagram encouraging people to just start to make a change. We've spent a full year, 2020, of the awakening, the realization that things aren't what we thought they would be, and that 1 year of hoping to go back to what we believe is a normal. I think we all figured it out now. That ain't gonna happen. So we have to change our way of thinking. We have to change our way of behavior. We have to be cleverer, wiser, smarter. What are we gonna do to make our change in this world to, mold, fit into it without feeling down, depressed, sad, crazy? Well, you know what, guys? One of the ways is, like I tell you, throw away the TV and start to do something, which is go out to a field, go to your nearest allotment and ask them if they've got any space spare there, if you could hire a little piece of the allotment, or something like that. Go out, visit friends if you can, make a difference, share beautiful things, talk about good things, look at good things, and all of those things that we have to do now, or else we're just gonna fall down into the cesspit of what AI wants us to. This is all a very, 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 very clever and devious plan to change humanity from the spirit into the AI technology, the brain, which is connected to the grid, really. So we have to be clever. We have to be wise. Yeah, I'd like to share a lovely message today, I think. And I'd like to talk about something that is personal to me, because it's been my life for the past 16 years when I had my awakening. And I think I'd like to talk to you about it because there's a great end to this message of what I feel the accomplishment of life that was organic for me. So 16 years ago, I started this beautiful healing process in myself. And as I started healing myself, people would say to me, "Mark, you've got a gift." And I'd say, "Oh, what are you talking about? Oh, you can really feel people." And of course, like most of us, we don't believe our own gifts are important. We're always looking at somebody else's. So I avoided it for some months, and people kept saying to me the similar things, that made me feel better. You've got a gift. And like, I've always talked to people. I've always been that. You probably know what I mean. Somebody will just sit with you and open up, right? There's loads of us out there that we're good listeners, and people feel safe in the environment of being with us, and they trust us, and they just release, and we absorb it all and we go afterwards. But we're there for people and we care, and it's not about being nosy. I don't really care about people's lives, but if they want to release and let go, and I used to be a hairdresser, and I think that's part of being a hairdresser, if part of being a nurse, part of being working in the public eye. Without knowing, you're all natural healers. Anyway, so I started this journey, and one day I believed in myself and said, okay, wait, maybe there is something within me that is stronger than what my mind tells me, that there's more important things and more powerful people out there, and I should be running and searching for them and asking for their advice and trying to be like them, when I realized, actually, no, you've got everything. You are everything. You just need to believe in that. So I started to. And then people would tell me things, and I think for the first time in my life, I started to listen. I never listened before. I chose not to listen. But this time, okay, I accept that. Thank you. And the acceptance was people telling me that they felt better after being in the company of me while whatever I was doing. So it made sense that to walk in a path of understanding this spiritual work, I ended up meeting many, many people. When the pupil is ready, the teacher appears. So that's how it started, basically. And I met some phenomenal people. And I've got to say, the books that I've written up to this day, I've got so many more books in my mind of things that you wouldn't believe. You wouldn't believe. I mean, the last book was the next step up from the first book. The first book was a gentle one, powerful, but gentle, acceptable. The second one was, okay, maybe, did he really sit with somebody and give somebody a healing that wasn't of this world? Did he really meet somebody who he thought was angelic, was not of this world, was of the spirit world, and so on. So I've moved from the first book that anybody, scientists, people who don't believe in anything, could read and say, okay, I can relate to that, and yeah, it makes sense. This one is just a little bit more. The next one, when I create the next one, it's going to blow people away, but I think they'll be ready for it because of things that are happening now. Governments are now saying, funnily enough, governments are now starting to say that, yes, there is extraterrestrials. So that's now coming to the forefront. Well, yeah, I wrote about that and told you about that years ago. People laughed and mocked at me and stuff, but as it comes, and people just believe in what the system tells them, so you get used to that. But anyway, so I started this journey, and as you all know, I decided one day to give up a little shop that I couldn't continue because I was giving free readings and healings every day. So I then went upstairs to a little room and I started my work, and I'm talking today about crystals per se. That's my love. Everywhere I look, I have crystals because I love them. So it started where I put up a Facebook page because my first mentor said, go onto Facebook. It's a really good platform, and you can share your message because you've got a lovely message, Mark. And I went, okay. So I started the Facebook page and I started posting messages of love, healing, and how to heal and how to feel better. Prior to that, I had a massive clientele anyway, because I'd been given free readings for well over 16 months in the little shop called Run by Angels. So I had a massive clientele, and word of mouth was the only thing I needed, really, because people would tell everybody. So people would have a reading, then 5 minutes later somebody would come back and say, you've just read for my mum, could you read for me? And whether it was an 18-year-old lad or whether it was a grandma or whoever, I'd just be reading. I met some amazing people, famous people I read for, famous chefs, and on TV, and lots of people would just come in. It was like, okay, this is amazing. But I had to give it up because I wasn't making any money because I was giving free sessions. But I felt great. But then I realized it's time to move on and open my own little place, and then people would come, and then I'd start to charge because I had to pay a mortgage and everything. So that's how it started. So yeah, it was great. I got my little room ready. I remember it to this day. Beautiful room. I loved it and still do now. It's still in my heart. And I'd already just started understanding crystals a little bit, but not working them too much. But I got my room ready and put some crystals here and there, and then I'd read for a client and they'd lie down and I'd start putting crystals on them. And I realized at the very beginning that if you put good energy into a crystal, it holds on to that same memory. And that's what's so special about crystals. And I was fascinated, and I wanted to make sure if it was 100% real. Is this real? Well, as fate has it, as you're working with clients, you start to realize that you're picking the same crystal up for the same reason. So my tools were crystals. I had oils and my crystals and a few sprays and incense. But what I found with a certain client, if they were suffering with grief, I'd always go to a black tourmaline. No idea why, but after I'd finished the healing session, because no words were said, if they'd get up off their seat and decide to say a few words, they'd say, a family member's just died. And I knew it. I knew somebody had just passed away because I could feel the grief. And I actually, at one point, as I was moving along, I started to feel spirit and hear them. And that's when it all really took off. And that was the point I talk about in the Pure Energy Healing course, that there was a point where it all changed, and I explain this. These are the secrets that I explain in the Pure Energy Healing course, tell people about. But yeah, there was a point where it all changed, and that was a fascinating point. And yeah, so somebody had come with massive migraines, and I'd have another crystal that would clear that. And they didn't even say anything, but I could feel that they had massive migraines. And funnily enough, I'd pick a certain crystal and it was always the same. Somebody would come with stomach issues, so they might have irritable bowel syndrome. I'd pick a certain crystal up, which at that point was a lot of the time Tektite, and I would be rubbing it on the stomach or placing it on the stomach. So there were so many crystals I'd work with, like pink moonstone, Moldavite, and certain crystals for certain things. And eventually my crystal collection tools started getting bigger. And as they got bigger, when a certain client I felt needed a little bit more after the healing session, I would automatically, without looking, give them a crystal, and that crystal would always be the crystal that they needed. So they would say that they've had a big fight with their mum, and they've not spoken to each other for maybe a year or whatever. That crystal would have been worked on and placed on a client who went through the same thing, almost to the same point. It was fascinating, and I could write a book about that in itself. So all of a sudden I started finding that I was giving crystals to my clients because I felt they needed it. How much do I owe you? You owe me nothing. It's from my heart to yours. And thus begun, the heart that gives is always full. And I realized that when I gave crystals, all of a sudden it would come back. Not expectedly, I didn't expect anything, but like at the end of the day, I could afford to go and buy 3 of those crystals because I either got more clients or somebody would leave me a tip. Or, like my readings at that time were 25. I was charging 25 when I first started, but somebody would leave 150. And then, my wife then would say, but it's only 25. And they'd say, that was worth 150, and they'd pay it. They'd say, that's what I pay because I go for other readings and it's 150 and I'm happy to pay that. So I'd go, oh my God. So I could go and buy more crystals, and I found that there is a universal energy of exchange. Really, there is. And it's not for us to talk about. It just does. It just happens. So next morning comes, I'd gone to Malaga and gone to 5 or 6 different crystal stores all over and chosen maybe 3 crystals or 4 crystals or 5 crystals, whatever, for the money that I got, that extra money. So I then started working with them. And then one day I thought, I've got so many crystals, I need something to be able to see how many hours I'm working in them per se, because I didn't really know how, I've worked on that crystal at least 50 times and it kind of feels ready. So I went away and looked for a tree which had 5 tiers, and a tree made of metal. So it looked like long arms with branches. So first one, second one, third one, fourth one, and fifth one. So I managed to find one. And thus I started putting my crystals on them. So the first row of crystals, there were 10 hours. So it'd have 10 branches. So all the branches added up to, there was 10, 20, 30, up to 50. So I knew when I got to the top, those crystals were just about ready. Some were ready at 30, but I always like to go up to like 50, but some were ready at 20, depending on the energy that was needed in. So I knew that, so okay, this is ready, even though it's done 30 hours. But in my mind, I used to think I'd like to get 50 hours into these. So people were now coming, and I had created all of these crystals, and I started, for some reason, giving crystals away with a reading and a healing. Not all the time, because some people didn't need them, but the ones that really needed them, I would say from my heart to yours. And it would be beautiful. I felt great for it. I felt really good. Because they would come to me, they would honor me by coming and having a reading. They would pay the 25 and they would receive a crystal, which probably were worth a lot more in the shop. So it made me feel great. So it wasn't about the money, and I didn't like even touching money. So people would come and try and pay, and I'd say, no, you pay downstairs. And people knew I didn't want to interfere with that. It's not important. So my integrity was good, and whenever I made money, I would put it back into crystals. Thus I knew that in the end, when I'd got past that 3-year period, I would be gifting a lot of crystals away. So going back to the Facebook page, people would see messages. Mark, I came for a healing session and the crystal that you gave me, I gifted it to so-and-so and their life changed. Oh my God, that crystal that you gifted me, I cried all night. That crystal that you, and people were saying, sending me messages, inbox, excuse me, Mark, do you sell crystals? And I went, no, I don't. Oh, well, I've just read the message. I said, yeah, I gift crystals away after a session, but I can't get to a session. I want a crystal from you. And so I'd kind of say, okay, I'll send you a crystal. So I started sending crystals to a point where I had no more crystals left. And like, okay, I can't keep doing this because the packaging is a lot of money and wrapping, but I was still enjoying giving crystals away. And people started saying, Mark, I want to buy a crystal. Okay, so I took the first step about 13 years ago and put my first crystal on. I took a photo of it and put it on my Facebook page, and it sold within a few seconds. Okay, wrapped and packed it and shipped it. 6 or 7 messages in, Mark, that crystal that you just put up, I want it. And I said, it's sold, but I want one like that. Okay, I'll do my best. Like, I got home and said, you're not going to believe this. People are asking for that one crystal and there's like 30 people asking for it. So I then went looking for crystals, searching for them all over. The right crystals, they had to be the right crystals. And I soon realized that I wasn't going to start doing it from people asking me. I would just work with the crystal, and if they wanted it, then they'd buy it. So it meant that I wasn't actually trying to please people. But look, I'll put one on my Facebook page. If you like it, it's there to buy. But I don't really go to supply, demand. It's not who I am. It's just, this is how I worked on it, and I don't know how long it's going to take. And people then were coming in and sending me crystals would you please work on this crystal? Of course, it's not going to cost me anything to work on it because I put my love into it, and my clients already pay me for their session. So it just means that I'd take that crystal when I felt it was right and place it on a client. And then after, again, 50 hours, I'd send it back to them and they'd go, oh my God. And again, it'd go on Facebook, you won't believe what this crystal has done. And I'd say, it's amazing. It really is amazing. I like, really amazing, really amazing. Crystals hold memory. And if you can channel beautiful, pure energy, it will go into that crystal and stay there and heal anybody who holds that crystal for the same energy what was given for the client. So if somebody's suffering depression, you place a crystal on them which you feel works to heal depression. Then the healing energy from spirit comes in, goes into that crystal as well as the client. So then the client leaves and you've got a crystal now filled with the same energy. Flipping amazing. Flipping bloody amazing this is. Like, I used to come up, this is just amazing. So then people would come and say, after a healing session, I'd like to buy a crystal, Mark. And I'd say, oh no, I'll give you a no, I want to buy one. Okay, thanks. So that's how it started. And each day thereafter, for the next 8 years, I'd put a crystal on markbajerski.com and it would sell within seconds. And it grew from selling a crystal to somebody that, and this is the important bit, wasn't just selling the crystal, but what else can I do to make a difference? So I worked out, if I could sell a crystal and put all this energy into it, that energy work that I put into it, which is free, if they pay for that, which they're happy to, then that energy work payment would then buy more crystals, so I could gift that energy work in crystals. So each crystal that I buy and sell, when I've sold it, the money with that, I can buy 3 more. So sometimes 2 more, depending on what I was buying, but ultimately it would be definitely to buy 2 more, which means that I can sell the one again and gift one away. But it was round about, back then, 8 years, 10 years ago, 3. So I'd put 50 hours and sometimes 100 hours, sometimes 300 hours into it. And I'd say to people, look, I've put 300 hours into this, and I'd show them, and this crystal is, 90, 200, 300, depending on what I paid for the crystal. Sometimes I'd buy a beautiful crystal which had cost me 100 just on itself. So it depended on how much the crystal was. And so they'd buy it and they'd be happy to buy it. They'd be overjoyed. I'd have different crystals priced at, some at 80, some at 40, 50, and some at 500, depending on what it was, whether it was a Moldavite, whatever. So there was that aspect where there was a lot of hours put into these crystals, and I'd mark the hours down. So some crystals I'd have for 3 years, 4 years, and there was a lot of energy work in that. So people would buy them. They'd just come in and say, that is what I want, and it didn't matter what the price was. And the proof is in the pudding, because I knew that the work I'd put into it was exactly what it was needed. So I knew whoever bought that crystal, they're going to benefit from it. I didn't even need to say anything. And they'd send me a message saying, Mark, you have no idea. I had one guy who bought a piece of pyrite off me that I had for 5 years. He paid, I think, 500 euros for it. It was a beautiful piece of pyrite. And you can get pyrite for, relatively cheap. But this I worked on, and I said, he looked at it and he said, I want that pyrite. I said, oh, that I want to keep, because this brings a lot of abundance to my clients when they're lying down. He said, I want it. So he paid like 500 for it. He sent me a message about a week later, and he was into stocks and shares, and his stocks and shares quadrupled for one of his stocks and shares. And he said, I've made 600,000. He says, now I'm telling you, it's that crystal. So I went, good for you. I wasn't bothered about money side of things, but the abundance that I was talking about is to help somebody who just lost their house or somebody who's just lost their job. And I wanted that, it wasn't about greed. I was never into that shit. I want interested. I used to blow people out and say, don't come back again, because they used to try and trick me when I was doing the reading. They'd sit down and say, okay, I've got 3 names here, and could you tell me which is the best name, which is the most beautiful name? And I'd be thinking, this is weird. And then I'd choose a name, and then they'd go away and come back again. I'd say, you're not choosing a name because it's somebody that you want to work with or something like that. I said, this is about money, isn't it? Yes, it is. It's stocks and shares. These are the companies that I want you to tell me. And I said, please don't come back again. But I used to make people a lot of money from that, and they used to be sneaky. But it was just reading, really. I could read and see which would work and which wouldn't. It's quite simple, really, when you get into that kind of field of work. But I really didn't want to work for corporations that asked me to work for them full-time as a psychic to help improve their business. I wasn't interested in that. So, yeah, getting back to the healing work and the crystals, it was like I'd got like a tree of crystals. I was now putting 1 on the internet, 2 on the internet, sometimes 3 now, and 4, and it started growing. And it grew and grew to the point where only a couple of years ago that things started to shift and change a little bit, and that leaving the little beautiful healing studio and coming here into the academy, everything grew. And the amount of people that were constantly sending me messages via Facebook and now my website, it was quite clear that I really needed to concentrate on that, which was the crystals. And so I was still doing my healing work. We had lots of practitioners coming in for the Pure Energy Healing Academy course to become practitioners. So I'd got all my crystals ready, and I'd be working on all the clients who were coming in, and it was amazing. The business started growing, and the more I was selling of oils, incense and crystals, the more people would shop, and it was growing and growing to the point that I had to find somebody, and like a miracle, Sonia appeared. Sonia came into this world and started to help me with all the things that I physically couldn't do anymore because there wasn't enough hours, because the demand was about 50-50 now. So there was 50% people coming from word of mouth and 50% keep coming back. We're now to this day up to about 87, 86. We went down to about 83 a couple of months ago. And now we're back up again. So our sales, we have only 20% of new customers, but 87% of returning customers. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? So again, I got to the stage where my principles were still the same, and the more Bajerski crystals grew, the more I started doing nice things like making angel cards and then putting nice packets and getting them all ready and shipping them out. And yeah, it grew and grew, and it was all organic. No pressure, no worries, people arguing, saying, when's my crystal ready? It'll be ready when it's ready. The post, it's not quick enough, I don't care. If you want the crystal, it'll come to you, and I want this and that. No, you don't get it like that. This is the crystal, this is what I work on, this is how I work with it. It's not about how fancy it is, it's what it does. It's the energy within it. So people, the ones who left, and the ones who stayed understood energy and appreciated crystals. And thus we grew and grew and grew to the point where I would like to say, and this is where I'm coming to, today, Mark Bajerski, Pure Energy Healing Crystals, has, even through this suffering, has continued to do still the same. It went down a little bit, but it's back up again to a normal day of selling Pure Energy Healing Crystals, oils and incense. So I was so thankful, and with that thankfulness, you've got to understand that as people keep coming back, I also can support, and my philosophy, my belief has grown even more than, sell one, gift one or two. So all of that, plus all of the work that I've worked on, which is now working on a most beautiful site that you can come to, and you sign up. It's all free, and you'll get to see thousands of videos. You'll get to interact and chat with anybody who's on there 24 hours. We'll have somebody monitoring it all day, so that's beautiful. So all the money that the profits go into ideas and things that help people and make people feel better. So I kind of want to say the end of this story is it kind of like a love story to me. It's something so beautiful. Who else do you know up till this moment that within 2020 was able, as a company like Mark Bajerski Crystals, actually gave away from his heart to theirs over 3,000 crystals? Sonia, me, and all the other girls at the office. Sleeping Buddha, who are the ones who ship them for us. So, 3,000 people in a little tiny company like markbajerski.com, just a little company with a few girls working there and me, working on crystals every day. We managed, in the worst year that I believe that I've lived in this world, which was 2020, a world where we were suppressed and pulled down and depression was here and all of that heavy-handedness of the government. Mark Bajerski, every day with the staff, continued like soldiers, one step forward, the other step forward. We keep going no matter what happened, and we wrapped and we packed and we shipped over 3,000 crystals worldwide. And that's what I'm proud of saying. Beautiful crystals that made a massive difference. We literally have hundreds and hundreds of thank yous for it helped change their life. Depression, gone. Anger, gone. Suicidal thoughts, gone. It saved me, it helped me. So we are proud, really proud. So yeah, 3,000, and I guess today I'm going to share this with you now. It's going to be 3,040 because we're on 2021. So let's just say this is the start of 2021. So here it is. So the crystal giveaway this coming week is a most beautiful lemon quartz. If you don't know what lemon quartz is, go to my video all about lemon quartz. Beautiful, powerful crystal. If you know nothing about Moldavite from Maliklum, then go to Mark Bajerski YouTube channel and type Moldavite. If you don't know anything about Aqua Aura, go to Mark Bajerski Crystals channel and type in Aqua Aura. If you don't know anything about these beautiful citrine fingers, which I'm going to do another video today about, this is a powerful crystal for this year. This is really powerful. And it's funny that Wonder Woman, the new, whenever you want to know the power of something or what they're planning on doing, you just need to go to Hollywood. Hollywood always know, they know exactly what they're saying and doing. So this is a citrine finger, very, very powerful this year. If you like beautiful amber from Poland, this is amber from Poland, and all of these are have been sent away to Bali to be mounted beautiful and signed MB, Mark Bajerski. If you want to know anything about beautiful amethyst, which is unique and individual and one-off piece that I hunted to find in its natural form, it's a 4 or 5 pointer, 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 pointer-ish. That is divine, very, very exquisite. If you want to know about Silicon Valley, go to Mark Bajerski Crystals channel and type in Silicon Valley. If you want to know about a beautiful piece of natural smoky quartz, go to Mark Bajerski crystal channel and type in Mark Bajerski smoky quartz. If you want to know what cinnamite is, if you want to know see this one here, it doesn't have, which is really unique. I need to talk about this, but this is cavensite, and you can see the mother stone and all the rest of the stone. It's absolutely beautiful. That is a gorgeous crystal. I'm really fascinated with that, and I loved working with it. If you know anything about Shungite, which is important right now, beautiful piece of Shungite, fantastic piece. If you know anything about Tektite, that's a beautiful piece of Tektite. Again, amethyst star, beautiful crystal, really beautiful crystal. I'll have to change hands. A very, very nice pointer with a piece of amethyst, a piece of Moldavite on. It's really hard to see, but it's there. And that's a really nice piece of clear quartz. This is a very beautiful piece indeed. So beautiful. I actually love this piece. A beautiful crystal for clearing grief. It's really beautiful. The tourmaline on here is this matrix. This matrix is fascinating. What a brilliant healing crystal for healers. That is gorgeous. That is definitely worth entering into the raffle. This is from India. It's just divine. Some people like coral, some people don't. I really love it, and I talk about coral, and yeah, it's fascinating. A nice piece here as well, which is Tangerine Aura, beautiful piece. This is a lovely agate. This is really nice. You'll love this agate. It's great. Agate. This one is great for the eyes. So if you're struggling with your eyes, agate is fabulous at the moment. Works really well. Look at how beautiful that is. Malachite. This is lovely as well, really nice. I hunted all over for these. I got only a handful of them, but they are black tourmaline in clear quartz. And then we've got some of the green opal. It's absolutely divine. We like a bit of lapis lace, beautiful. Another piece of Moldavite, one of my beautiful petites that I love dearly. Pink opal is really beautiful. It's really gorgeous. You can just feel it. Just as you hold it, it's like, wow, that is gorgeous. And then some really unusual pieces that you maybe have not have seen, and I'll talk about them as well in the videos shortly. Look at that gorgeous piece. Look at that beauty. So yeah, there's all of these, and I'm gonna actually add to it today a piece of copal. I've been working on that through the night. You'll love that. Amazing. So I'll add that in too. And I'm going to add 8 of the oils in. So how to enter this raffle, if you haven't tried, it should be all done now. My son sent me a message saying, Dad, we've got the workmen on it. It's all been done now. So there was a problem with Stripe, something to do with I think it was November, something changed in Stripe, so that it didn't work properly. So you all tried. I know loads of you went to try and you couldn't. Now it works. So all you need to do is go to, the link is underneath, I'll only leave one link, and that's Coach Nico Bajerski. You go on there, you join for 1 month. That's all I ask you to do. If you stay longer, then that's brilliant, because it means that you're going to train with Nico and you're going to strengthen your body. But I want you to start looking after your body, and my son is an amazing coach, and it's less than £5. So you just need to join. That ticket will then get sent to me. So once you've joined, he sends me the ticket. It goes in this jar over here, and I think there's about 44 in there now. So everybody so far is going to win a prize. So it looks like if more people go on, then obviously not. It depends how many people at the end of this. You know, if there's 70, then now the chances are 1 for 1, so you're going to win. But if there's 80 or 100, or if there's 80, then you've got 1 in 2 chance. So it's pretty cool at the moment. This is pretty cool. So it's well worth it. It's more really about you strengthening your core and your body, and taking advantage of all the videos, over 150 videos Nico's got, once you sign up. So once you sign up, you get inside there and you get to watch all his videos, and he says to me he's going to do lives, he's going to work with you, he's going to help you. Speak to him, ask him things like, I need to strengthen this part of my body, there's something wrong with my arm, there's something wrong with my leg. Send him a message, and then he's going to make videos to help you. So he's not going to leave you just to do what you do. He's going to help you. That's what he's promised me. Like I do with you. If I get videos, people sending me messages saying, please help me with this, I try my best to do a video on that. So that's it really. I wanted to share with you Mark Bajerski crystals, how he works with them, and what we've done this year. And I'm proud of it, really proud. And I've done loads of giveaways in this kind of way, where markbajerski.com has helped many people, has helped Don Tolman. I mean, doesn't really need the help, but I've helped people because they've got help through that. So if you say to me in a year's time, Mark, I stayed with Nico and he helped me through this year, and now I can run, I can walk, and I couldn't before, and then I've done my job. That's what it's about. It's sharing with you people that I believe in, and of course I believe in my son. I've watched him from a little boy. He's an amazing trainer. He's amazing. So Don Tolman, amazing. 7 Principles of Health, amazing. Layla Sati, amazing coach, guide, inspirational person. Lemonhouse, amazing company. So everybody who works there in Serbia, amazing. And we help them as well. They help us. So we help one another. We create our community. So I've always done my best. And, you're always going to get people who, look at you and say you've changed. You're all about the money. You're always going to get that. I've had it all my life. As a kid, I had it as I was growing up. People used to think I was rich all the time, and I'd say, I don't know what it is. Why do people think I'm always rich when I'm not? And I am in spirit, in love and happiness. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they really see the truth, what rich is, but they just make the mistake that they think it's in monetary terms, when actually being rich is in happiness with inside. There you go. There's the answer, Mark. Thanks, guys. To all you people out there, I love you all. Thank you for supporting markbajerski.com. Thank you for working and trusting in my crystals, my oils and my incense. And I hope they've made a difference in your life. And if by any chance that you feel something from this video, you feel empowered by it, and you feel that the guy is talking to you is making sense and the videos that he makes are great, then can you imagine what this next beautiful course in 2 weeks is going to do for you? Anybody can join. It's the Pure Energy Healing 4-day Healers Practitioners course. It's for anybody. You come on, you learn for 4 days, you don't get interrupted, you tell your family to leave you alone, let you do 4 days, and after that 4 days, your life will change. That I can swear with my hand on my heart. All you need to do is look at all the testimonials on markbajerski.com or the Pure Energy Healing Academy. Go there, look at the testimonials. Changed lives, because it's a course that shares with you how you can awaken your healing and how to heal and how to be the most amazing soul that you already are. I hope to see you there. I'll leave a link if you want to join us anyway. For that, I'll leave 2 links. I'll leave the first link, Nico, and the second link, how to join us in 2 weeks to be part of the interactive online pure energy healing 4-day course. I hope you can join us. It's going to be absolutely amazing, and I'll see you there. Okay, I'm going back to work for me. Lovely day. Heading out to get some water in the Alpujarras. 2 hours there, 2 hours back. That's dedication to health. Have a great day, guys.